It started on a rainy Tuesday, the kind of day where the sky hangs low and everything feels heavier than it should. I had just moved into my aunt's old house after she passed away. An old, creaky place tucked at the end of a quiet road, surrounded by half-dead trees and overgrown weeds. It wasn't my first choice, but rent-free is rent-free. On my third night there, I noticed something strange. I was brushing my teeth in the upstairs bathroom, the only one with a mirror. The rest had either cracked or been removed. I didn't think much of it at the time. I bent down to rinse my mouth, eyes half closed with sleep. When I stood up, I caught it. Just a flicker, barely a second, but my reflection didn't move with me. I froze. My chest tightened, heart pounding like I'd run a mile. I stared at the mirror. The reflection stared back. Normal now. Everything seemed in place. I leaned closer, nose almost touching the glass. Probably just tired, I muttered. But then it smiled. I didn't. The toothbrush fell from my hand, clattering into the sink. I stumbled back, slamming my shoulder into the wall. The reflection stood still, smiling. I wasn't smiling. I was shaking. Then, slowly, it lifted its hand and pointed at me. I couldn't move. My back was pressed against the cold tiles of the bathroom wall, eyes locked on the mirror. The reflection still had that grin, a thin, knowing curve of the lips that didn't reach the eyes. My own face felt frozen, pale, wide-eyed with terror. Then it knocked. From the other side. Not loud, just a single tap-tap on the glass, like fingernails gently brushing the surface. I heard it, clear as day. The sound didn't come from the room, it came from the mirror. I bolted. I didn't even turn off the light. I just ran, down the stairs, out of the house, barefoot into the wet grass. The cold rain hit me like a slap, but it didn't stop me. I ran until I reached my car, fumbled with the keys, and locked myself inside. I must have sat there for an hour, soaked and shivering, trying to convince myself I'd imagined it. That maybe the old mirror was warped. Maybe it was a dream. Maybe my phone buzzed. A notification lit up the screen. Photo saved to camera roll. I didn't take a photo. Hands trembling, I opened my gallery. There it was, a photo of me, in the bathroom, taken from inside the mirror. I stared at the photo, breath caught in my throat. The image showed me standing in front of the mirror, exactly where I had been minutes ago. Same clothes, same toothbrush in hand, but something was off. My eyes were black, not just shadowed or dark, pitch black, like the pupils had swallowed everything else. And behind me in the reflection, the bathroom looked wrong. The wallpaper was peeling in places. I knew were still intact. The light above the mirror flickered in the photo, but hadn't in real life. And worse, there was someone or something, just barely visible in the corner of the reflection. A figure, tall, thin, face hidden in shadow, standing just behind my left shoulder. But I had been alone. I wanted to throw the phone across the car, but I couldn't look away. I zoomed in on the figure, hand shaking so badly the screen nearly slipped from my fingers. As I focused on the shadowed face, the image glitched. Just for a second. The screen flickered, static, and then the gallery app crashed. I sat there staring at the dark screen. My reflection in the car window stared back. I almost didn't notice it at first. How it blinked out of sync with me. A moment too late. A fraction of a second wrong. I looked closer, leaning toward the glass. And it smiled. Not again. I turned the key in the ignition. The engine didn't start. Again. Nothing but a clicking sound. Then my reflection's mouth moved. I couldn't hear it through the glass, but I saw the shape of the words. "Let me in." I slammed back into my seat, heart racing so fast I could barely breathe. The reflection watched me, its face so close to the glass now that I could see the tiny cracks in its skin, like porcelain, ready to break. "Let me in." I didn't know what it meant, but every part of me screamed not to listen. I grabbed my phone, tried to call someone, anyone, but there was no signal, just static. Then something knocked on the car window, not from the outside, from within the reflection. 3 deliberate knocks, like a polite request from something that had never learned what being human meant. The car radio turned on by itself, a soft static hiss. Then a voice, my voice whispered, "You're already here." The world twisted. For a moment, it felt like I fell inward, like the mirror, the window, the glass between me and it wasn't real anymore. Then silence. I woke up the next morning in my bed. The sun was shining through the window. Birds were chirping outside. Everything looked normal, too normal. I sat up slowly. My clothes were clean. My phone was on the nightstand, charged. No creepy photo in the gallery. No missed calls. It was like nothing had happened. I almost believed it was a nightmare, until I went into the bathroom. The mirror was clean. crystal clear, but when I looked in, my reflection didn't move. Because I was already inside, and the thing in my body smiled back at me.